Welcome everybody to the very final day of Beyond the Summits World Tour action. First we have the semifinals, the second semifinals between CLG and EG, and then we move on to the grand finals. One of these teams will be facing off against, I gotta call them the seemingly unstoppable juggernaut from China, at least in this competition. It is IG, who have looked very solid, who are waiting there in the grand finals. But before we get to that, we do have a best out of three coming your way, CLG versus EG. So let's talk a little bit right now about what we can expect to see here in the pregame. I am LD of dotacommentaries.com. Joining me, of course, is the one, the only Luminous, who is awake very, very early. But nonetheless, he is getting excited. I'm sure this game will perk him up quite a bit. So for both teams, looking very strong in this tournament overall. CLG has only dropped a single set so far, I want to say, up against Orange. They won that series 2-1. As for EG, they dropped a set to LGD, but dropping even a game to LGD is nothing to be ashamed about. Such a strong team. Lumi, do you have a favorite in this match?
I do have a favorite, and it has changed because CLG cannot get their 5 roster. I do believe CLG
is
walking, no, CLG walking into this.
No,
right. EG. Both CLG and EG are playing with a Sanin. But I was favoring CLG a little bit more. They were performing very well. I like their teamwork and I like their playstyle. But CLG is playing with X Mike.
Are you sure? Because he's got the CLG tag here. Let me actually double check. But while we're checking that, let's talk a little bit about the two specific teams' playstyles and what we can sort of expect to see. So for EG, this is a team that's been pretty versatile in their hero picks as of late. I don't know if you caught it, Lumi, but they ran a solo mid disruptor played by Bulba, which was absolutely dominant. They've been featuring heroes like Storm Spirit, and then of course you have the old standbys, the classics that they like to run. Chen, Enigma, Venomancer, Darkseer, Rubik. We could talk about all of their favorite heroes, but to me they're showing a lot of versatility in some of their recent matches, which is a good thing to have walking towards the international. And I don't think it is a stand-in. I believe it is Lacoste.
Okay, it's just faking some tags. Good old Lacoste. Then no, I'm gonna go back to my statement. I favor CLG. They are very. I love their playstyle. I think they're doing very well lately. But it cannot be said that EG is doing poorly themselves. I mean, you talked about the versatility of Shadow Demon mid. I've seen them do Demon going up top, soloing Rubik on the Radiant side. Something that we don't commonly see. It just shows you a different level of versatility. Of course, Fair is playing out of his mind lately. Every strength carry, every carry in general, he's touching. It's like his hand is made of gold, and everything he touches is also made out of gold. He farms insanely quickly, he gets his item quick, and he just carries. So EG's doing great, but they are actually playing with the Sanin for sure. Pusherstreet is in the game right now instead of the maelk.
Yeah, pusherstreet will be standing for maelk. All we can say right now is that he's been having some health issues, so he's not able to actually be here today. Hopefully he gets well soon. As we look towards CLG real quickly, just want to go over, this is a team that we know how CLG generally like to play. They love to get the strong semi-carries, heroes like Invoker, heroes like Tinker, and normally if pajkatt gets his hands on that Invoker, it's going to be trouble. Of course, we have also seen him on the hard carry role, but this is a team that likes to play pretty aggressively early on, whether it's going for Sunstrike kills or just setting up pushes with Chen. Both of these teams definitely like their junglers, I think more so than most Western teams. So that's one of the big things I'm going to keep an eye on is, do we see those junglers in that game? But with all that said, the game is underway, so let's jump right into it. Here we go. It's going to be EG. Is this the... Did they actually switch the sides? I think it's the Dire on the top now. It is the Dire on the top now. So I guess they listened. I have a cat since that change was made. I actually got confused yesterday during the Dota show, but it will be EG on the Dire side, CLG on the Radiant. And let's actually give the in-game some volume here. But off the bat, pajkatt's going to get his Invoker, and Bulba's going to get his Tinker. So some big signature heroes coming out for both teams.
No matter how they switch it, it's just still very, very confusing. So Radiant is on the bottom half now?
Yeah, I don't think it helps at all. Actually, I was getting used to the one way, and now I'm just getting confused again.
They should just do a diagonal thing, man. I don't know, I'm just mad confused. In any case, Invoker, Venomancer, Brewmother on the Radiant side apparently, and now we have Leshrac Tinker and the Sand King on the Dire side. One thing EG is very known for is picking a high amount of global heroes. Tinker is one, Prophet's another one. They've been playing Wisp lately. And, I mean, there's a couple more in the pool as well. The good old Beastmaster Tinker is a combo that maelk love to run because they definitely have the player to handle that kind of lineup and make it work. But for now, we just have the Tinker. We might not see global, or we could see a full-out global, depending on the last 2 picks.
Yeah, we'll have to see where they want to go from here, but they get a very strong combo, the Leshrac and the Sand King. The Tinker already gives you some great global options. Of course, Prophet is banned, but you mentioned the Wisp. Keeper of the Light is in the pool as well. That could be an option, and this is an interesting ban here. We see a Bounty Hunter ban now, but AG definitely a team that's looking for that offlane hero, and when you have a Broodmother on this team, if you can get that Broodmother Bounty Hunter matchup, it's actually not that bad. I've seen a lot of teams have been quite successful with the Bounty Hunter versus Brood. I've even cast one game where the Bounty Hunter won that matchup. Now, I don't think he should win the matchup, but he could definitely get some levels and get some farm, and then really provide that additional gold and experience to the team in the mid-game with the ganks, setting up and helping out the team. And, of course, this is a very gold-dependent lineup for EG. Leshrac, Sand King, Tinker all need their items, all need their levels. And for CLG, they have a Venomancer, so they have that support hero picked up. And I also want to point out this is denying that to EG, although there is no maelk today, so maybe we wouldn't see the Venomancer played, but it is one of their favorite supports. Great anti-pusher. CLG a bit lacking in terms of stuns right now, and that could be a concern versus Tinker, so we'll see what they want to do for these last two picks.
Yeah, most teams nowadays, when they're drafting, they actually leave the stuns to the last two picks. In fact, sometimes they leave it to the last pick. Most teams says, yeah, you know what, we forget about the stuns. And then ironically, it works half the time. It works quite well, in fact. So I'm not counting CLG out because they have some very, very powerful hero. Invoker, not the best single target lockdown in terms of stuns, but not too bad. And you can see that they're banning out the heroes that they need lockdown against, like the Morphling. Like you pointed out earlier, pajkatt most likely is going to be playing the Invoker. Lacoste is going to be on Broodmother. I'm excited about that one because he's by far one of the highest farmer on Broodmother. A lot of the more flashy heroes like Bamboo, or flashy players like Bamboo, gets a recognition on Broodmother, but he just quietly sits in the lane and does his thing, and that's one of the most dangerous Broodmother out there in European scene. So I'm looking forward to his Broodmother performance today.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Now, that being said, there is a Sand King in the pool, or on the EG's lineup, I should say. So if they want to run that 1v1, it's a matchup we've seen Sand King winning more as of late, I have to say. And the signature Broodmother player is the best in the business. They can win the matchup, but it's just so damn difficult. Sand King has a lot more of that killing power, especially if the support comes in, sets up the chain stun. We'll see where they want to go. But Enigma is the pick, and an immediate reply from EG. They go for the Storm. Normally, I believe this is played by Fear. So now, you mentioned the global. Storm is not quite a global hero, but he can be with Boots of Travel. And he might as well be once he gets some mana, once he gets some items up, because then he can basically jump in from long range. And I know you've said this before, Storm's such a good hero to shut down Enigma in the mid-game, really denying those black holes. Good initiation here for EG.
And I mean, you were talking about earlier, where's CLG's lockdown, and they don't have it right now. Maleficent is okay, Invoker, Cold Snap, and I guess Tornado's okay as well, but it's not going to be enough to shut down that Storm Surge. We're looking at probably one of the best initiating hero in the game, at least single target wise, and you have great follow-up in terms of Leshrac, Sand King. If you combine the Storm Zip with a couple of Blink Daggers, EG can initiate from afar, and as long as CLG, if they're anytime out of position, they will get picked off, and getting picked off against the Storm Surge is where you not want to be, because they could continue to pick you off one by one, and you're going to have more trouble walking into this mid-game. So CLG is going to have to win their laning stage, which is kind of what the strat is about, how their playstyle is about. They like to win the laning stage. Night Stalker is going to be the reply here, which is going to be decent ganking the Storm, but when the Storm is actually initiating on you, Night Stalker is not going to help too much.
The one thing this might do is force out something like an early BKB from the Storm Spirit, where otherwise he might not want to go for it. That silence is really good lockdown if you can get off. But like you said, when Storm jumps in from long range, Night Stalker's going to have a very tough time landing that. The key hero here is going to be that Enigma. If Enigma gets caught out in team fights, I just don't see how CLG win it. But I like this Night Stalker pick because it really fits in with what CLG want to do. They have a team that's very strong at sort of small-scale engagements. Oh, wow, Rubik is the last pick. Can't believe he actually slipped through that long. Normally he's been banner picked a lot earlier. But CLG, they can spread the map with the Broodmother, with the Venomancer, the Enigma, good split pushers, and then that can create space for the Night Stalker to set up kills around the map. And if they have those smaller scale engagements, this is a very, very scary team. Broodmother excels in those small scale engagements, as does Night Stalker, and if it is an Exhort Invoker, he will too. So I like CLG's pick here. It fits in with the overall strategy, but like you said, that team fight for EG, their lockdown, just far superior here. So it's really going to be up to CLG to win the laning stage, get some early towers, and the question is, can they do it?
Yeah, can they do is a big question as well. We have a short pause, and this is to give us a good moment to introduce the players here. On the dire side, AG Demon playing the Sand King, Fear handling the Storm Spirit, Universe, Leshrac, Bulba on the Tinker, and pusherstreet playing the support Rubik. Just to make sure, am I expected to have my audio, in-game audio turned on, or I don't need to do anything?
Yeah, if you could turn your in-game audio on, that would be fantastic. I'm noticing mine is a little quiet. Let's see if we can get it better. There we go. Should be a little bit more audible for those of you on the stream. So you introduced CLG, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go ahead and introduce EG. So it's going to be Fear farming on the safe lane to Storm Spear. Did he actually buy the Courier? I think he did. Oh, no, never mind. He's got a lot of regen. Okay. Universe is going to be playing that supportless Shrek. Pusherstreet, the stand-in will be handling the Rubik. Looks like Bulba will be going solo mid as the Tinker. And finally, the last player for EG, it's going to be Demon in the off lane as Sand King. They're anticipating a Broodmother here. Unfortunately, it looks like he's probably heading top.
Wait, did you just introduce the Dire team again?
I thought you introduced CLG. Okay. I asked you CLG.
I just said okay because I was changing my
Sorry,
mind.
guys. We're trying to troubleshoot some audio issues here in-game. So if it's not working, please let us know in the stream chat. It should be okay. I'm just going to try and up my volume a tiny bit. And Lumi, make sure you are streaming into the game.
Seems like both audios were okay. At least that's what I'm getting. If not, then you know, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I've heard the in-game is a little quiet, but guys, what you can do is just try and turn that up a little bit. On my end, my microphone's about as loud as it can get, so there's not too much I can really do. I'll try turning it up a touch.
Alright, to reintroduce the CLG team for real, pajkatt gonna be going mid. Seems like it's gonna be a cross-wex build, starting with the Blades of Attack. We have on the bot lane Misery, handling the Night Stalker, with support from Akke on the Venomancer. On the top here, we have Mirakel, already denying creep, gonna be going back to jungle. And then now we have IX Dominic 88, a pun off IX Mike's tag, playing the Broodmother. Already have a double damage written in, trying to see if he could get a couple last hits against Fair.
Unfortunately, this one's going to more or less wear off by the time he gets to lane, and in that off lane, we'll have to be very careful. Now, as far as lanes go for Broodmother, this is not a bad lane at all. They have some good anti-push to deal with the spider lanes, but there's not too much chain stun, especially early on. The one thing I really want to point out is we've seen in the past that, I know I cast a game a couple months ago, as we see Demon roaming around the enemy jungle here. Akke on the tail. Demon has not picked up a skill yet, can get Sandstorm, but really does not want to have to do so. Has not chosen the point yet. And Akke, a lot of harassment. Tango already forced. Demon is trying to find something here, and he's taking a lot of damage. He's going to have to skill something soon. Really getting damage. The Stout Shield helping out, but man, look at this harassment from Akke. Finally forced out the Sandstorm. This might be a kill. Oh, he's going to back off. Could have possibly chased there for a second kill, but in the end, Demon having a horrible time there, whereas top lane, it's Lacoste already hitting level 2.
Yeah, I mean, that it was a South Wharf of damage. Just constant right-click. Venomancer did not lose any damage or any HP throughout that, so that was a very, very good exchange. Demon's not going to have a good time, but this is a lane that he's generally always in, and he plays it very well, so no big afraid here if you're a big EG fan. He's going to be absolutely fine. pajkatt on the mid lane, though, already hitting level 3 against Bulba. Just a tiny level behind, but no big deal. Yeah, he's going to hit level 3 as well. We're going to be expecting a March build here from Bulba. Already that 2 point into the March. Very curious. Generally, you want to go laser rocket on the mid lane. Seems like they want to go a little bit offensive pushing or counter pushing with that March machine.
Well, it's going to help out a lot against Tinker as well as Enigma with all the summons. It also can punish the tower diving of the Night Stalker. The other thing I want to point out is, like you said, pajkatt is going for the Wex build, so this is actually a lane where Tinker can outlast hit that Invoker until Invoker gets up his phase boots, and even then, should have a decent time. Bulba he's a little bit out of farming the Invoker here, 9 and 7, a lot more denies. pajkatt should pick things up once the phase boots are acquired. But mid lane going well for EG. The bottom lane heavily in favor of the Night Stalker. As mentioned, Demon really struggling. And up top, it is a tri-lane for EG. A lot of pulling going on. Universe has been pulling the small camp. Rubik pulling the standard pull camp. And this top lane getting a lot of farm, denied a lot of experience towards the Broodmother, who's still only level 2. So overall, it seems like we're getting some trade-offs. Of course, Enigma in the jungle. That's the final sort of X factor for CLG. So far, content to farm. So do you favor anybody at this point in the laning stage?
I favor the Dire a little bit more. You can see Pusherstreet is looking constantly for position to do that telekinesis. Once Universe is in position, they could easily grab the kill. Telekinesis, of course, Electric Vortex, Edict as well, Splitter. That's way more than enough damage to get the kill. But, you know, I mean, Radiance, they're getting a little bit of EXP jungle here. Miracle's doing that one. You can see Leshrac doing level 1 pulling to make sure that he is, you know, not losing too much EXP. Also love the fact that there's a Sentry War being put off in the camp.
Yeah.
Not sure whether you drew that. I can actually see it now. That's pretty cool. they're blocking off, and that's one of the best way for the Dire team to come back. Is if your long lane's doing nothing, like what EG Demon's right now. He's basically just trying to get the pulls, but he can't do it if it's blocked off like this.
Yeah, it's the Sentry Ward, and just look at the investment overall into really shutting down Demon in the early game. The Sentry Ward in the pull camp, the Lane Ward to prevent any sort of approach to the creep wave, as well as the Ward towards the rune to spot if he rotates in. Demon, we've seen him really succeed in lanes. You mentioned the Rubik in the off lane. He often finds a way to get something going, even when other players wouldn't, or where you wouldn't expect him to have anything. This game, however, he's not going to fight it. Gale is narrowly going to miss. Haystern picked up by akke. Not going to amount to too much, but they are denying Demon completely. Broodmother only level 3 on the top lane. And it's fair to say that Broodmother's not exactly having a good time here either, but at least she's getting something. Demon is literally getting nothing. The lane never even approaches tower. Misery already level 5, 1,600 gold in the bank. He's going to have all those early, cheap, cost-effective items, and something is making all the players laugh here. Was that a spider lane stealing a big creep?
No, that was a big satyr shockwave that pwned the hell out of IX Dominic, and was
okay.
getting trolled a little bit by the neutrals, but no big deal. Yeah, I mean, one of the things here, EG Demon, once the action died down, if you will, once the pressure dies down against him, he's not going to have any easy farm. Whereas Broodmother, if you leave her alone for a bit, she can easily catch back up with farming in the jungle as well as farming in lane. So, I mean, I guess this favors CLG quite a bit. Once they leave Broodmother alone, eventually they will have to.
Mid lane, it's Bulba gets caught out. Malphus and Cold Snap, Tornado to follow. Bulba taking a lot of damage. There's your first blood. Laser not going to be enough to shut him down, and that's the power of this Enigma coming out of the jungle, setting up kills. CLG strike first, and with a Wex Invoker, boy does he need it. Getting a couple of levels, also getting some gold towards him. And pajkatt, it has to be said, is really not farming well at all. We normally see him just dominate this mid lane. Normally goes for the Exhort build, but with the Wex build, actually being outfarmed by Bulba a little bit. So that's a big kill for CLG. And you also mentioned they need a good start. Well, there's your decent start. Perhaps not the best, but certainly something to get them going.
Definitely not the best start. It would just mitigate off his a little bit poor CS. But here comes a push on the top lane. Now the push could be actually a double-edged sword. They do get the tower going their way, but that also means that Broodmother is going to have an easier time farming. Once again, these guys do leave the lane. But for now, tier 1 pressure, the Broodmother spiderlings are just getting melted down. Tier 1 glyph finally gets used. Very surprising, it's a late glyph. You generally use it right when the edict's coming out. So I didn't block the majority of the damage, but for now, it has stopped the push. Dominic, looking in position, does not have Soul Ring or the Mana Regen right now. Sentry Ward gets dropped down. They're going to just force him away, and this tier 1 tower is going to be going down for sure. Question is, are they going to go for a little bit more? Meanwhile, Demon, look at his ninja action, just getting a lot of EXP right now. He might be completely trapped out, though. If he decides to come out, he's basically dead.
This is a level 1 Sand King. There you go. Level 2, 6.5 minutes in. They do get the tier 1 top. The push continues. Wow, Demon has been completely denied. We see a rotation in from Bulba. The March spam might delay this push, but Demon is just getting absolutely nothing. And the question is, will he be able to catch up? Although, top lane, it is a kill. pajkatt picks one up. Sorry I missed that, guys. But it looks like Leshrac went down. So the push stymied a bit there. The tower defended bottom. After taking a ton of damage, will probably fall in that second. That push and sort of get over the hump. You already used the glyph on the part of EG. So kills being traded, or not being traded, but the kill in exchange for the tower defense, not a bad way to go. Also, Bulba, despite the death, not far off of the boots of travel, could probably have them around the 10-minute mark or so if he doesn't die. So it's going to be up to CLG to keep this pressure up. And who better to do it than Misery? He's having a fantastic start. Power charts and Urn picked up, only 7 minutes in. High farmer of the game, out-farming a Storm. Pretty impressive stuff from him.
This is actually a very surprising playstyle from Misery. We're actually about 1.5 minutes past the nighttime, and he's still farming in lane. He does have the teleport squirrel, so he can join any fight. But for now, he just want to get the farm up, and he just want to make sure that keeping the Sand King down as well. Meanwhile, Leshrac is sitting in jungle, making sure that they're protecting the bot tower. Very surprised to see Misery still not pushing with his team. He's solo pushing it right now, but he's going to eat a couple of Burrow Strike and stun. No tower deny attempt here from Demon. Look at Misery, he's just so fast. And still not ganking.
It's Bulba, eats the Malphus as well as the Tornado. No, they're going to back off in the end. So, wow, Misery gets the tower by himself.
Yeah. That's the big surprise here. Misery also no points into Darkness, at least not for now. Wants to make sure that Hunter in the Night is has many points into it, and also he's skipping a level. Void to do so as well. This is crazy tactics, but he's teleporting on the top lane. No lane war in position, at least not a lane observer war. So he's looking forward to get a gank, and if he finds Pusher is basically food.
Yeah, there's a sentry ward, but I like it. Misery's running to the left side, skirting the vision of that sentry ward. Does not see him, only sees directly on top of itself. Misery, very patient play here. And in he comes. Is he going to find the kill here? If they can get this kill in Fear, that would be absolutely huge. Look at the movement of Misery. So patient, circling around through the tree line, but just not able to find the opening. Probably going to wait for this creep wave to die, but this could be an awful time to go. And Pusher Street and Universe both coming in for the big backstab on Broodmother. The zip in to start. The ward gets dropped. The silence on Fear. Might be a turnaround. That level 3 Void, not quite enough damage. And it looks like one more right click. No, the ult wears off. Sphere still trying to disjoint here. No mana. The Urn Charge is not available because Misery doesn't have a kill yet. One more right click would do it. Great dodge there by Misery. Avoids the Split Earth. In comes Demon. Again, only level 4. And in the end, EG actually ended up losing another hero in a 3v2. Not what they were hoping for. Tornado gets dropped. EMP as well. Pusher Street, the Cold Snap, not going to be quite enough. And Demon in no man's land. Out of mana. This is only a level 2 Sandstorm. Won't last forever, but probably will be long enough for him to survive. Man, EG just not having a good time in these engagements.
And you can see that's the power of Night Stalker. He literally focuses full barrage of spells on right click on a Storm Spirit. Got him down very low. And Storm zips out. I was like, yeah, no problem. I'll change target and kill the Shroud just as fast, if not even quicker. Single Void, a couple of right clicks. His attack speed damage is just absolutely insane right now. But that's only the first gank in the nighttime. Generally, the first night measures how Night Stalker and his team will be playing. And to be honest, this kind of aggression is not kind of below the usual par, right? I mean, he's doing okay for now, but he needs to push out a couple more towers, get off a couple more ganks, because the first nighttime, we're 4 minutes past that point. And that's the first game.
Well, to be fair, he's not getting that many kills, but overall CLG are winning in terms of gold and experience in a big way right now. 3,000, actually 4,000 gold lead. More importantly, perhaps, it's the 6,000 experience lead, which for a second there I thought the graph was bugged, because with a team doing double pulls in the top lane, sure you have an Enigma to help compensate for that, but you wouldn't expect to see this big of a deficit. It's just overall Demon getting shut down bottom. That is the big difference here. So low level, compared to Lacoste, level 7, still no big items up, but with level 7 he can spam the Spiderlings, do some decent nuke damage, and it's constant pressure top for EG. Unfortunately, Sand King can't really handle that top lane by himself. Sometimes you'll see Sand King rotate in to deal with the Broodmother, but no points at Caustic Finale, only level 5. If he goes there, he'll just die.
Yeah, definitely. And just going back to the EXP chart, I mean, Enigma basically has not left the lane at all. The only time he's left the lane, he's got a kill with his teammate. Whereas Leshrac, I think he made a journey down bottom lane. He was trying to set up kills on top. He definitely died on top. So the EXP disparity there is not too favorable for EG as well. And now this is exactly what I mean. Broodmother, once you leave him alone, Stormster is here, but for now he's kind of sitting in lane, just getting ready to get the right click in or use the spawn spiraling, create more spiraling. He's farming in the high level camp to the right. So he's going to catch up. He's already level 7 with a Soul Ring and 600 gold in the bank. Stormster is trying to get his right click going on. Looks like he's going to be going for a Linken's build, I imagine. I'm not sure if this is Linken build or just getting a Ring of Health for a little bit of HP regen.
Right,
I imagine it has to be Linken.
Could be the Bloodstone, but to go Bloodstone, no BKB, no Linken's against Night Stalker, that silence will ruin you if you get caught. So if he's going for anything else, he's got to be perfect with his timing, his initiation. Any slip-ups will cost him heavily. So we'll see what he wants to do. He is farming quite a bit, which generally would suggest something a little bit, not greedier, but something a little bit more expensive. Something like the Linken Sphere, or maybe the Bloodstone. We'll see where he wants to go with that for now. There isn't that many single-target nukes, or there aren't that many, so it could work out. pajkatt has been trying to catch up mid lane. Drums, Phase Boots, Wand picked up all the basics. Normally from here, it's something like a Yule Scepter, maybe a Force Staff. And against EG's lineup, Force Staff would be absolutely huge, as well as Yules. If you ever get initiated on, just throw yourself up in the air, or Force Staff yourself away. The nice thing about the Force Staff is you can help out your team. Demon bottom lane, God, he's still not level 6. I don't know if I've ever seen Demon get shut down this hard in the off lane.
Yeah, and Sand King's a hero that you don't want to be shut down this hard. He needs his gold, he needs his level. Sometimes, even if you're farming very well, which he's not, you could pick up a very quick Blink Dagger, but without level 11 ultimate, it doesn't matter too much. And right now, Sand King's facing trouble on both fronts, and he's trying to just leech EXP. He's not even right-clicking in lane, he's just afraid of that Night Stalker. But we're past the first night. It seems this is very different from CLG, how they normally play. They normally just take down all the tier 1 tower at the first nightfall, just aggression all over the place, make the enemy team choose to defend whichever tower, because they push 3 at once, right? You could defend whichever one you want, and you're going to lose the other 2. And this is so different, and playing a Night Stalker and farming passively, this is not what I expected from CLG, but hey, they're ahead right now, so let's see how their second night it's going to be, if they're farming through the first night, imagine they're going to keep on farming through the second day.
Yeah, definitely through the second day. That second night will be the big proving grounds for them. Can they actually get something big accomplished? Now, here's the thing. They have such a good lineup if the towers are down early to really punish EG and constrict them, because they have the Night Stalker and the Broodmother. These two heroes with the early tier 1s knockdown, they can be so aggressive. Broodmother all over your jungle, pushing the lane with Spiderlings, farming the jungle with Spiderlings, hero in the lane, however you want to do it. So many options for pressure and finding those solo kills, plus Night Stalker great at applying the pressure all over the map. So you're right, CLG are ahead, and maybe that they're okay with farming, but this is a lineup which could do so much with those early towers. I'm not going to say it's a blunder, but it is something where EG, if they win a couple fights, they'll be right back in this game. They're not really out of it yet by any stretch of the imagination. They are behind, but boy, do they have a great turtling team, a great team to turn fights around. We talked about the counter gank potential, the initiation on their team. If CLG slip up, this big lead they have right now will evaporate.
I feel like they're giving a lot of time to the enemy to, I mean, the EG squad, they're very dependent on very key items, and I think they're giving them time to get the key items. EG, of course, needs a Blink Dagger on Demon. It is going to be a Bloodstone build on the Stormstreet, and to be honest, he's only 800 gold away from that, so he's doing quite well. Here comes a tier 1 push on the mid lane. Miracle in position. I do believe EG will be defending for sure. Stormstreet slowly walking. He's going to go by a secret shot first. Tier 1 goes down. Enigma picks that one. Enigma already has a mech being finished. Drums is already up on Invoker, so teamfight item on CLG ready to go. It seems like they want to gank up top though. They see that Brood, he's farming very well, and Stormstreet will be zipping in right now. There's going to be a full Burrow Strike Dust. They're going to blow him up, and here comes the teleportation from pajkatt. He sees Demon. I think that's the only valid target. No, very low in terms of mana now. Here comes Demon Gale, and that's going to hit any deny attempt.
No, he's going to live!
And he's going to TP out just fine. Meanwhile, Demon, he's trapped behind enemy lines again. Very familiar with this position. Dude, I actually see him skirting in.
No, they think he's gone. Maybe they didn't see exactly where the tree line he went. They definitely had the scent of Storm. That was the kill they wanted. They don't get it. Shocking, really. Pretty much out of mana. Could not even zip away. Ballsy play there by Fear to just try and TP out. In the end, a little bit of luck as well. He escapes. Great play by him. CLG, despite not getting the kill, they're going to try and pressure top. And we'll just have to see if they're able to do it in time, but this is where that Tinker just makes things so obnoxious. March already being spammed. Bulba in position, has had the boots of travel for about 4 or 5 minutes now, or actually a little bit less than that, 3 or 4 minutes. And really, they can't push into this. They need probably a pipe as well. They're going to try. Maybe they will be able to, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I mean, right now Tinker in this game, he's got to be a little bit afraid against the Night Stalker, who could, you know, instantly turn on that nighttime and just go to town. But for now, I mean, it has bought them enough time for the Stormstreet to walk back from the base, as well as Demon to join the fight. And that's what Tinker gives you that not many other heroes to give you. Not only slows down the push, but sometimes stop it cold. And you can see that right now, CLG just standing in position. Again, very different from the usual playstyle. Usual playstyle is, hey, you can stop our one lane, we're pushing your mid towers at the same time, we're pushing your bot tower at the same time, but they're concentrated effort on the top. It looks like they're ready to dive here. They see Bulba, I think that's the most important target. Tornado picks 2 up in the air, EMP is going to drain their manas, while pusherstreet completely dry at this moment. Demon getting a little bit Kyle position should be fine, the tree line getting completely destroyed. I think that actually favors the Dire a little bit.
Both teams very gun-shy right now. This is funny by CLG. They've already knocked out pretty much all of the trees, so there will be no sneak attacks for EG. And it looks like Night Stalker in the front lines, just too tanky. TP out from pusherstreet. The tower abandoned. In the end, even a Tinker March spam, just not enough. The ward certainly helping out in that regard. CLG just having so many levels, so many items early on. Just the raw push power. Even Tinker, not quite enough. And it's not just Tinker either. It's this Rubik as well. So much good anti-push coming out from him. EG, they're close to that Bloodstone pickup. They really just don't want to fight right now. But this is the beauty of CLG's lineup. Even though they played it passively, they didn't even wait for the second night. They just have the sort of the man advantage, the HP advantage here. They can dive a lot more if they need to. Look at the Night Stalker. No BKB, sure, but 1700 HP. If they want to kill him, it's going to be damn difficult. And if they don't, he's going to do a lot of work. So here comes that second tower. The pressure mounting top. And meanwhile, mid lane, it's EG going for the split push, going for the tower trade. Glyph is available for the Radiant, has already been used by the Dire, but I think this means a tier 2 for nothing is going to be the trade.
Yeah, I love CLG's concentrated effort to destroy every tree using Midnight Pulse, using a spin web. And I mean, that allows kind of to prevent the enemy team to kind of do the sneaky initiation. There's a storm, but he can't zip in without teammate support. Are they going to defend the tier 1 as well? I think so. Yeah, tier 1 is defended, and here comes the entire CLG team. I think they can even fight over this tier 2 if they want to do so. We are approaching the second nighttime very, very soon. Of course, darkness could be casted anytime, and now the transition from EG to push down to tier 1. But I don't think the Radiant cares. Yeah, they're going to just ping the tier 2 and go straight to a Tinker by himself trying to defend. But no force staff being finished, so he can't be too aggressive either. And here we go. Meanwhile, on the top lane here, Dominic, or lacoste, is slowly getting his farm going on.
You know, they're getting these towers pretty much just by the threat of a team fight. They're not actually having to have those team fights. We still have not seen a black hole 19 minutes in. Who needs black hole when you can just threaten to use one? Bulba TP's out. Not gonna happen. There's the void. The earn to follow. EMP tornado. Bulba will take a fall. Does he have buyback? Would he want to do so? I don't think so. And in the end, the tier 2 will be traded. The bottom tier 1 goes down. EG now looking towards tier 2, but they're not going to get this in time. CLG can back off, or maybe even threaten high ground, head towards Roshan. We'll have to see what they want to do. Something gets stolen from Miracle. That's only going to be the demonic conversions. Will help slow down the push. Probably won't be enough. Oh, EG might get the trade. In the end, looks like they get 2 for 1. They lose Bulba, sure. Top lane being pressured, mid lane being pressured. But getting 2 towers for 1 and losing 1 hero, not the worst trade in the world. And CLG will be forced to TP back.
It is nighttime here for CLG, although they're not doing too much with that nighttime, at least not yet. Miracle walking the bot lane. Seems like he does notice that everybody has TP out. The creep equilibrium not very threatening against their tower. I mean, it's very close to their tower, but it's not a big wave there. So he's like, I'm going to go push up top with my teammates, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing in the next couple of minutes. Boba in position after his death, still very far away from that
Demon.
On the top lane, he's burrow striking back out, but that cold snap doing a lot of damage. And meanwhile, mech is back up here for Miracle. That mech's so important for this kind of early pushing. We don't have Urn yet, which is extremely very surprising. I think Night Stalker has skipped his Urn. No, he does have the Urn, excuse me. Has 1 charge going, and he's looking for the Stormseer. Stormseer is going to zip up on the high ground. He sees him. There's a fear, and there's a right click on the coming in. Pajkatt getting in position. He needs that cold snap, but the zip out here.
Oh, the courier!
The courier gets picked off. What was on the courier? I'm not sure.
I believe it got delivered. I think that was his bloodstone. Maybe not. It might have been going to the secret shop there. I didn't have a chance. I clicked on it. Maybe one of the viewers caught it. I just didn't have a chance to look at it. Demon up top. A lot of pressure onto him. The Eidolons. The Malphite doing big damage to the burn strike away. He will live. Oh, and by the way, Demon, despite having such a horrendous start, does almost have the Blink Dagger. This Blink will help them turtling a lot. That's another target that CLG have to focus. Now, an EMP Tornado, good for catching out that Sandkate if he ever tries to channel Epicenter. So we'll see if the Blink is successful. But having this pickup, it gives them another hero who can go at first. And they really need Demon to go at first, because if Fear does, he'll just be focused down. Yeah,
or at least if Sphere goes in first, Demon will be the big follow-up Epicenter. And that's not a bad way to go about it either. But here's the thing, if you actually... He's in a very desperate situation right now. He's going for a dagger rush against the Invoker. I mean, EMP Tornado is going to shred them apart. I mean, you could have your Blink Dagger, but if you're never going to have mana for a full combo, it's going to be really rough. And even if he does get off his full combo, he does not have a second Burrow Strike, which sometimes is very key in a chasing kind of long engagement. So he's looking for the Blink Dagger, and he's going to go back to his Arcane Boots very quickly after that.
Lumi, this is rather surprising from EG. They don't have a single pair of Arcane Boots picked up. Now, it's somewhat understandable. You're up against a lot of burst damage. You want to just tank up as much as possible. But like you said, not having any sort of form of mana regen, it's not just the Sand King, really. If anyone gets hit by the Tornado, even for a hero like Leshrac, that's the majority of his mana pool. Wex is pretty much maxed. That's a 350 mana burn, soon to be 400, over half. That means 2 or 3 spells out of Leshrac, and he's done. Fear won't be affected as much. Can probably just join it anyway with the ult. But aside from him, this team is going to have a lot of trouble with the Tornado. I like what CLG is doing here as well. They're not actually pushing into high ground, but they're really restricting EG's access to farm, forcing out sentry wards from the supports, and the sentries on CLG, or the supports on CLG, can much more easily afford to buy these wards than EG. So keeping supports that are already not having a great time even farther behind. Pressure without taking towers. But at some point, I expect CLG are going to go for that high ground, go for a Roshan, go for a fight. It's that second nighttime, and so far they've gotten towers. but EG got some trades. Is this enough from CLG? They have a significant lead, but I just feel like this is one of those games where 1 or 2 bad fights by CLG, and EG are going to be the ones in the lead. As strange as it sounds right now, I really do believe it. And meanwhile, top lane, Demon gets caught out, but actually it's Lacoste in trouble. There's your zip, the kill on Lacoste, and now this opens things up. A bottom lane, the split push coming. So is CLG getting enough right now? It's 4-2. They have such a strong ganking and pushing lineup.
I wouldn't say they're getting a lot, but I think they're getting enough. I mean, sure, they lost a Broodmother up top, but Broodmother already has a BKB finish. I feel like the game is very much so in the control of CLG. It's their game to lose, in my opinion. They're getting all these big advantage, but you're right. I mean, the Dire lineup, they have the big AoE, especially in the Sand King. They have the initiation, so if EG looks to find an opening, and they do find that one, it can be a big win. They have the Dire advantage as well. They don't have the high physical DPS, but should they actually win a team fight, they can take the Aegis, and suddenly things could get barrel a little bit out of control. Nighttime, the second night, is almost ending for Misery. He has that Acceptor finish, level 2 Darkness, coming off cooldown very, very soon. At this point, I wonder what's stopping CLG from massively going down for a big push. Are they looking for the late game items like Hexes or Blink on Miracle? Pipe and Mech is up on the Miracle. He's as farm as Enigma as you can be, as you can expect in this stage of the game. I don't think they're waiting for the blink, right? I don't think you want your Enigma to initiate here.
Yeah, you really don't need him to. You have EMP Tornado, you have a Broodmother or the BKB, who frankly is probably even the best initiator, just to charge in first and force a bunch of spells out from EG, who don't really have an answer for that BKB. March of the Machines will go through it, but that's really about it, and it shouldn't be enough by itself. Yeah, I don't think Miracle needs to initiate. I don't even think CLG need to force a fight. I think at some point they're just going to have those items. If they play it properly, they can just brute force their way into the high ground. I love the Aghanims pick up on Misery because of how CLG is playing this. It's sort of that final piece to the puzzle. Maybe not the final piece, but a big component of it. Just giving you so much additional map control. I would really like to see a gem picked up on him as well, just to really limit the ability for EG to leave their base. I'm actually just drawing on the map right now. Look at this cone of sort of the sphere of influence they're restricted to. The only one who feels safe to leave right now is Fear, and they have a lot of heroes that need to farm, not just Fear. Even Demon, sure, he's got the dagger, but you mentioned it, he doesn't have the arcane boots. He's also only level 10, and of course Universe 4-staff picked up, but really needs a BKB to contribute. That silence, the chain stun will be enough to bring him down. Still sitting on only 800 HP. I'm with you, I still think CLG is getting enough, but if they make any mistakes here, if they allow this to drag on too long, EG have the kind of team that can win a team fight and then massively turn things around. Plus, they're on the Dire, so Roshan always available. CLG are just playing this so patiently.
Yeah, you talked about the gem, and there is a gem up on Misery, starting to get a lot of more wards tonight, and a lot of these wards are very easily picked off. They're pinging at one, they knew one is on the high ground. Akke getting position to drop off a couple more wards. They do see it. Man, it's such a hacks when you have Acceptor and gem. Like, even wards placed on high grounds are no way to escape Misery's sight. And here's an awkward thing I want to point out. We're 26 minutes in a quote-unquote European game, and they have less kills than a Chinese game. This is 6 kills. But we're getting a lot of tower pushing action. But here we go. The Roshan is attempted. I gotta imagine that EG knows. As I say that, they're actually walking very much so in the wrong direction, though.
This is going to be such a hard fight to win. Pipe Mech, only a level 10 Sankin, even a perfect Epicenter. Will it be enough? We're about to find out. Epicenter channel, the blanket, everybody getting caught by it. Zips all around by Fear, but the mic, the Mech, the pipe, too much, and now Universe, pusherstreet get cost. There's your black hole. Pusherstreet taking a lot of damage. Look at Akke not even taking any, and it looks like Rubik will go down here. Rubik does take a fall. Something stolen, but not anything he really wanted. Fear trapped on the high ground, and it's just too much team fight for CLG. Even though EG have the team fight spells, CLG have the team fight items, and Mech as well as Pipe, just too much right now.
On a totally different level of team fight item, Misery went down to about 100 HP, but not enough damage to actually finish the job. The Pipe doing a whole bunch of it. The Meg was absolutely huge. And now with the Aegis and, of course, a team wipe, essentially, they're going to just go push down the mid. I mean, I don't see EG winning the game, at least not anytime soon. If they gotta do it, they gotta do it in 20-30 minutes, because right now CG is totally dominating, and I do not see them giving up this dominance anytime soon.
Yeah, because of how well they're controlling the map, and because they can actually win the team fights, I think they can farm it. It's getting to that point now where they just have too many big heroes who can solo kill a lot of EG's squad. EG have to play 4 or 5-man Dota. There's a big zip in. They want Akke. They should find him there. The zip, the burrow strike, he will take a fall, but it's only a Venomancer, not the biggest loss. And here's Misery waiting in the wings with Invis. Probably cannot find a kill. Going for kills right now solo. Very, very dangerous, especially with the... Oh, he gave away the gem to someone else. Did they actually lose it in that team fight? No, Enigma picked it up. So they traded it off to him. Meanwhile, lacoste pressuring top. If EG find the kills, that's where they can look to farm. But as long as they don't have them, CLG can really control the map here.
Yep. Meanwhile, Broodmother is sensing the gank coming his way. He does have this blacking bar. You use the first charge for that critical engagement and could be picked off right here. As we do see pusherstreet getting a little bit side with that observer ward. And the entire team is coming his way. The thing about playing Broodmother against a Stormspirit is once Stormspirit gets a critical massive item like Fear has right now, you're constantly in danger of getting ganked because you never really know where the gank is coming in. We've seen EG just dedicate a lot of time and effort to get those brood kills. You know, 3-man smoke party ganks, getting multiple dust ready to make sure that you get the brood killed. And to be honest, they are getting him killed, but I feel like the attention has been focused a little bit wrongly on Brood. Brood is going to get farmed no matter how many ganks you throw his way. Whereas, you know, Misery and whatnot, they are dependent on that early game farm, and he's gotten it for free. And now Misery is kind of the biggest steal right now. It is daytime, but once comes nighttime with BKB Acceptor, he's unstoppable.
He's so hard to bring down now. He doesn't even have the BKB, but with Aegis, with 2,000 HP and 10 armor, good luck killing this guy twice. I mean, seriously, man. He is just an absolute beast and a half of a hero. And again, it's just the way EG are playing this. You know they're on the back foot. You know they're terrified to take a fight. And I gotta go back to that Roshan fight. I mentioned it briefly, but sure, Misery dropped low in that fight, but everyone else was pretty healthy. That was an almost ideal epicenter. Storm got a good jump in there, dropped a couple of remnants of multiple heroes. That's normally a lot of nuke damage. EMP Tornado mid lane though, Demon, great blink away. Will dodge that, but the force step inside the Vice picked up a pajkatt. 30 minutes in, there's the big farm, the highest farm hero in the game, in fact. Storm Spirit zipping in for the backlines. Who will he focus on? No, actually zipping away. Malphus will start things off. He has a DD picked up. Nope, never mind, no he doesn't. Will we see a black hole? Black hole just for Fear, but I believe they can bring him down here. Definitely should be able to. The silence, the void. Fear will take a fall, even with the Bloodstone. Does he have buyback? He does, but definitely doesn't want to have to use it. He will be respawning quickly. Should be okay to join this fight. But if Fear dies again, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. This next respawn will take much longer. And that means also he may not get his BKB. Nice pickoff there by CLG, but they're actually not going high ground just yet. Playing this one very, very patiently. You talked about Chinese Dota, man. If this is similar to... If any game is similar to sort of classic Chinese Dota, this one is it. Patient, but very methodical play from CLG.
And EG right now is in full turtle mode. Leshrac getting that lightning build we do not see quite often, but that shows you how far behind Stormspirit, biggest zip of his life, not gonna find Invoker so very quick. One thing to point out in the Roshan engagement is, yeah, the epicenter hit everything, but that was a level 1 epicenter. Going back to what I said previously, sure you can have the Blink Dagger, but without level 2 epicenter, it's not gonna do too much. Now with that level 2 epicenter, they're gonna try to secure themselves a tier 1. Misery finding yet another Invis rune. And perhaps Demon's gonna get first initiated upon, even trying to run out to the right side. Just a little bit dancing in the jungles right now. But I think this is time to go. A single Void and Gale is gonna hit. Demon goes in Invis immediately.
Where's that gem? Where's that gem? It's not here. Enigma's trapped on the far side of this fight. Miracle eating the rocket spam. It doesn't look like it's going to matter. Demon gets caught out. No, he goes to Viz again, trolling the enemy team. Meanwhile, Miracle might be the target here. He's still got the pipe up. Look how tanky this Enigma is. We turn our attention back to pusherstreet, who takes a fall, as well as Sandking uses the epicenter, still dies, and Miracle just cannot be killed. We talked about the Night Stalker's tankiness, but it's the Enigma right now. The absolute biggest threat in these fights, if a black hole hits, they are so screwed. And they can't bring him down, even when he's caught off by himself.
Ooh, Tornado narrowly misses on Universe, but they're going to continue to give chase. pajkatt basically moving at maximum movement speed. If he gets into Hex range, which he will if eventually. Oh no, there's a Hex against Universe, and look at the Broodmother joining the chase. Universe, no chance here. He is going to get picked off. And now Bulba back to life, but he's not going to do much by himself. He's going for the Hex, but still very far away from that. CLG just
meanwhile, Fear's caught out at the side shot. There's your Sunstrike. Should be able to zip away, but he's out of mana. And by the way, he already used his TP scroll. He might go down here, even if he doesn't. Fear's going to have a long journey back to the base, during which time CLG could push top, but they're actually chasing the kill. I feel this is a bit of a mistake, but there are still 3 EG heroes alive, so maybe not. Fear running for his life all over the map, almost has his BKB. This would be an atrocious time to die. Demon with the all-chat here. Knows Fear's a lot of trouble. There's the Aggetives helping out. Fear cannot hide. EMP, the silence, should be enough to bring him down. One more Void. pajkatt 4-staff in, and there you go. Fear takes a fall. Fear dies. That means BKB delayed. No buyback either if he wants to use it. 30 seconds to go, should respawn in time. The push will not happen. But it's starting to have, this game is starting to have a sense of inevitability about it. CLG winning every engagement. EG just not able to make anything big happen.
I'm going to agree with you there. I almost felt like that was not even worth it for a kill. I do believe they could have easily taken the racks, given the fact that they are up 5 alive against 3, right? And Sankey didn't even have his ultimate when he came back alive. So I thought that was a free racks, but CLG's in such a dominant position that I don't think that would have mattered, but it's another bullet being dodged by EG. EG's just getting the necessary item. The Storm BKB can be a big difference maker. You have double force staff up, so the mobility on EG's up to wazoo, but it's like you're on a big Corvette and you're running into a brick wall. You can have as much mobility as you want, but that brick wall is not going anywhere.
I love the analogy. Oh man, it may be very early your time, but you are in rare form today, Lumi. I love it. Yeah, I'm completely with you. They can look as pretty as they want. They can go for the big flashy plays, but at some point you just have to fight mano-a-mano. And Broodmother with the BKB and 5k gold can just charge in. There's a couple of force stats that'll help, but really, if they use them all to deal with Brood, then there's nothing left to deal with the other heroes. And CLG, plenty of chase power in their own right. Wex Invoker, Max to Wex, has been for a long time. As well as the Scythe of Vice, the force staff. Nightstalker, we all know about his mobility. Enigma going for his own Scythe of Vice, and not far off of it either. This has to be one of the most farmed Enigmas I have seen in recent memory. I'm starting to have flashbacks to that MTW game where we saw Lincoln Sphere Refresher Enigma like 50 minutes in. Different item selection here, but similar level of farm. More of a one-sided affair, but this Enigma getting absolutely huge. And if your Enigma is this big against the lineup as good at ganking as EG is, that really tells the tale of how this game is progressing.
Yeah, Enigma generally is the first one to die in every single engagement. You want to focus him down. You want to make sure that Black Hole never gets off. Miracle has no... I think the only Black Hole so far in the game is that one-man Black Hole against Stormster. It just shows you that this game and this hero a lot of time isn't about that Black Hole. It's about the positioning, about how fast he's farming, in particular in this game. He's been left alone for the most part, and his farm is just ridiculous. 192 creep kill. Is he leading the game?
He's
close.
Barely behind Fear, but
close.
he has had a much bigger impact. And, you know, just because of the mech and the pipe, we don't see it on the scoreboard, right? He's only 1-0-5. But just using those 2 items in team fights, plus that 1-2 hero Black Hole, and I think he had another decent Black Hole, that's all you need to do as Enigma in this game. And for me, the Storm is still trying to get involved. It's funny to say it with the farm on Fear. It's very good farm, and, you know, you talked about it, he's a great farmer, one of the best in the Western scene right now. But all the farm in the world, this is not a Morphling, this is not a lone Druid. This is a hero that's very momentum-based, needs to have openings to really contribute. And so far, Fear is on the back foot, not what you want to be doing as a hero like Storm.
Here's the thing, EG right now is the most annoying team to push against. Marcher Machine, Lightning from Shrek, and of course, the threat of a Storm Zip anytime that you're out of position. CLG is winning this big, but they just can't go up the high ground despite having things like Pipe and Mech. So, I mean, they're getting themselves time, but I think CLG's out-farming them as well.
Oh, yeah.
CLG farming all over the jungle, in the enemy jungle, in their own jungle, and right now, Fear is just having the biggest, I guess, drawing in his game right now, trying to set up gank for his team, but not really finding that opening.
You know, he wants so badly to. You don't play Storm to do this. I mean, sure, Fear loves his creeps, but this is not why you pick the hero. This is not how he wants to be played him. It's the best option at this point, and it's. You know, speaking of the tail of the game, which I was talking about, and you've sort of been hinting at it too, Bulba's gone for Shivas. At this point, you would really want to have a Scythe of Vice up to try and lock down heroes like Enigma, the Broodmother, or the Nightstalker before they can pop their BKBs. But he's gone for Shivas just for the additional split push. It will help a little bit with the attack speed in team fights, but really, you're getting this for the additional split push, the ability to slow the game down, drag it out as long as possible. And I gotta give EG credit. There's not many teams that could be down 20k gold, even with these heroes, and still not die nearly as much as they could have, still be hanging onto their racks. But like you said, CLG getting so much farm that really will it matter. Zip in on the bottom lane, they want Lacoste Burrow Strike in as well. The BKB and the Manta both available. Will he get them off in time? No, look at the chain stun. Perfect coordination there, even with the stand-in by pusherstreet. Great job there. But the pressure by CLG mounting mid. EG get the kill, will be forced back. A nice pick-off though, slowing down this Brood, definitely something they want to do.
And look at Misery's positioning right now. They just lost a hero on the bot lane, and he's thinking about going into the Roche pit. CLG just is not afraid. And I think I want to go back to your point earlier about how most other teams would have just basically died at this point. The reason that EG is not giving up any racks is not because they have great defensive heroes, is they haven't actually got picked off, right?
Yeah, there was one
I
team
don't
fight
actually
Roche, that was
remember any
about
hero
it.
that got picked off on Fear on EG squad aside from Fear and his previous long journey. He was the only person that really got picked off, and we talked about why CLG's not pushing there. It looks like Storm is going to be zipping in. BKB gets used on Misery. Wow! Just want to make sure he does grab the Aegis. That was a very expensive Aegis. Demon comes in with the Epicenter. The Epicenter is just basically doing nothing. BKB gets pop here. They're basically out of mana. Has BKB still zipping around. Finally goes back out. The Demon is going to be the prize here. That's one kill. Are they going to be chasing for a little bit more? Misery very low. Boba TP's out. And I think that should be it. Pusherstreet. Oh no! He makes it out there as well. No cold snap. But I think regardless, they're going to go and co-push this mirakel.
If they can't do it now, it begs the question, at what point will they have enough items to do it? Aegis up on that Night Stalker. Sitting on 2200 health, has not added too much there, but the magic immunity is the big pickup for him. That's on cooldown. But remember, Epicenter was used in that fight. Nothing big stolen. There is still a black hole available, and a Sight device up on Miracle. So CLG can be very patient in these fights because they have such a tanky Enigma. So many heroes to jump in and pick heroes off to start the fight. Tornado is going to miss. Taker tries TB back. No! There's the Sight device. Gets caught out. The zip in by Storm. Going for something, but Fear just zipping away, trying to bait spells out. Misery not going to fall just yet. Now focusing on the racks. Look at the dive by pajkatt. Some miscommunication here from the team. Everybody else is going to back off. Aegis gets forced, so they do force out the Aegis for nothing. Tinker lives, and a Sight device cooldown used. The BKB is up. Is CLG really going to back? Oh, it's just so damn hard to go high ground against this EG lineup. You said annoying. This is just getting obnoxious at this point.
Well, I mean, they got up to high ground, right? But instead of hitting the tower, they were chasing heroes away. So I feel like CLG is making small blunder here and there, and many bullets being dodged by Fear and his team. I mean,
it's like Neo in the Matrix at this point.
This is some like cheap Hollywood flick. They're just, dodging every bullet coming their way.
Yeah, it's like Neo in the Matrix, man. They're just
there you go.
Yeah, they're hanging on, but it still feels like CLG should be able to easily take this game. It's just they're not doing it yet, but at some point you got to figure the crushing weight of 20k gold. Oh, Tornado for Fear, not gonna latch. They really want to start this off with a pickoff. Fear has buyback, I believe, even if he goes down. There's your Void to start. No silence. Should have probably silenced to force out a BKB. In the end, Fear's just going to bide his time, zip away, and here's Bulba, the ultimate troll at this point, that Shiva's the march. Bottom lane is pushing in quite hard. Top lane even starting to push out. And here's that push mid. Are they finally going to do it, Lumi? Are they going to breach this defense, or are they going to dive heroes to the tier 4?
I hope they don't dive. They should be able to do it. The Sand King does have his ultimate, but there's 3 BKB up on CLG, so they should not be afraid at all. No, that March just mowing down the creep wave. No, Demon misses his huge epicenter. So I talked about there's BKB blocking it. Not even necessary at this point. Demon thought the enemy team would commit. Unfortunately, he was wrong. Here comes CLG now, committing for real, I imagine.
Oh, this has gotta be it. How can they possibly defend? Burrow Strike a Miracle to start. Has already used the Scythe, the Pipe, and the Mech. The Gem as well is on him. Big zip in from Fear. What a pull at long range. Try to kill Miracle, but too damn tanky. All the BKBs used immediately. Shiva's doing some good work. The March doing big damage. BKBs expended. Mech and Pipe used. CLG's got a back, and they only did a couple 100 points of damage to the tower. I can't believe it. EG wildly missed on the epicenter there, and they still hang on to that Rex. How is CLG gonna end this game? Oh, man.
Man, if CLG does not find a pickoff, I don't think they could win. Not to say that they're not winning. They are winning by a big time, but they just can't win. That's the most ironic thing I've said about a Dota match in a long time. Look at the item difference. There's Enigma with the Grinsu. Hex, of course, up on pajkatt. They're getting the next tier of tier 4 items. Akke already so very tanky. The entire team of CLG is so farm. By comparison, there's a single blink on Demon. There is a blink in Shiva's now on Bulba. There is a Staff of Wizardry on Pusherstreet. Like, the item level is just so different, but CLG just can't go in. This is insane Dota.
Imagine if EG had a decent start. Imagine if they had items. If it's hard now for CLG with the perfect start to the game pretty much, really winning all of the lanes they should, and overall just playing very deliberate, methodical Dota, imagine if they didn't have that start. This could easily be EG just wiping them in these team fights. But they're not able to do so. We have to remember, they're still holding on to their tier 2 mid, their tier 2 top. They've gotten the last 2 Roshans. The next one will drop a cheese as well. And they are ahead in items. So it stands to reason at some point CLG should get those pickoffs to win this game. They also have a great lineup to find the pickoffs. The Wex Invoker, especially the Night Stalker with BKB Agatibs. I feel at some point they should be able to do it, but they're not doing it yet, and that's really the takeaway point right now.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, CLG, Broodmother, Nice Stalker, and Invoker, they're not actually the best late game hero. Granted, there's no really good late game hero on the dire side. But, I mean, if EG keep holding on, they could even find... It's not just about staying alive right now. I feel like EG are looking to win the game. As you know, eye-opening as that might be, being down by, what, 700... or 17,000 gold.
That's a lot of gold.
They're down by a lot of gold, but they could still win this as long as CLG just don't claim in racks, which they're having such a difficult time doing.
This game has, it feels at this point, here's the smoke, and they have wards everywhere. The gem as well as the Aghanims is going to ensure that EG have no knowledge. Look at this wraparound attempt. No, they're going to take a slightly more direct route, ignoring pajkatt's drawing, and they might just find EG. They know EG's got to be in their jungle because they've been all over the enemy jungle. Pajkatt perched on the low ground, waiting for the opportunity. He's going to make it up the high ground. Invis, here comes Misery in the front lines, looking for pusherstreet, the silence to start things off. BKB available, Tornado EMP thrown on Leshrac. They really need more than one kill here. They can't just stop for this one. Meanwhile, Demon Hastern is going to look to run away. Sight device on the pusherstreet, but Fear for the moment is escaping Demon as well. They get Leshrac, then they pick off Rubik. 2 kills so far, and it looks like Demon should live. So 2 kills. Is this enough? There's no buyback on Leshrac. These are the 2 support heroes. I don't think it's quite enough.
It's not enough because of the creep equilibrium. Look at how pushed out they are. Don't chase Demon, for the love of God. Demon's gonna just be fine. The Hastern, Blink Dagger, Burrow Strike on Sand King. Yeah, they got 2 support kills, but I mean, you talked about the power of Tinker and his split pushing. Look at where Demon already is, making sure that he's pushing the next creep wave. Already have a couple points in the Cosk finale. Here comes Pajkatt. Can he get the Hex off? That's a question. He does get the Hex off. Where's the follow-up, though? Is he going to be enough by himself? Sand King, Burrow Striking, Sandstorming, just juking all around, but the Deafening Blast does cancel the TP, and Demon's got to be dead. Question is, will that be enough? For
That's a gem on the floor as well. EG lose their only way to try and maintain map control here with the gem going down. That might be it. Those 3 kills there, that also means if they get any more pickoffs, there's definitely not going to be buyback. Demon won't have it. Taker will, and Storm should be coming back to life pretty quickly. But those 3 supports won't be able to rejoin the fight. Is it, though? I mean, I keep on thinking it is, but maybe not. Maybe not. The March being spam mid. And just, it's not just him, like you talked about. Rubik and Leshrac, so much anti-push of their own. And here's Fear even starting to contribute as a split pusher. Sure, he might get picked off, but that's going to delay the inevitable. Bit of a dive attempt of pusherstreet. They're not going to go. Here you go, high ground breach to get. Rockets fly in. EMP is dropped. Tower will fall. Without the tower, things just got a lot harder for EG. Can CLG finally do it? Can they finally claim the high ground? The push coming in the bottom lane, but just not quite fast enough. I think one more time over the breach here. They should be able to, sort of over the hill, they should be able to do it. Misery working on the tower. Where's the Alacrity? That would help as well. The Forge Spirits too, but not so many of them just yet. 1 Rax goes down. Nothing being claimed bottom. Bulba might look to TP in here. No, here's the TP back from Fear. So they finally do it, Lumi. 45 minutes in, with just an absolutely outrageous lead, they finally managed to claim that Rex.
Man, I know EG is losing right now, but it just shows you how good EG really is. Holding on, again, all the time just barely holding on, but essentially, that's the same thing. Same thing as holding on big time. And, well, I think with that 1 Rax down, it's got to be over. I do not see EG coming back this game. But as to say that, though, they're going out of the base aggressively looking for some ganks. And with Storm Spirit, with Sand King, you could always find an opening. And they just don't have sight right now.
Here comes
no
Fear.
big zip here with 1 war. He sees Akke. Will that be enough? Look at those zips. A rocket making sure to get the kill. I mean, that's the power of Storm Spirit. Just, you witnessed it on the screen. Insane.
Look at that. Look at the range of EG. If they had a lead this game, they could have done that all day long. Instead, not really able to do so. Bulba working towards the Scythe device. He's still got a ways to go, but if he gets that, that might give them that extra item they need to get the jump on CLG. Because Storm plus Tinker, and the mobility of this Tinker with Blink Dagger, Force Staff, and of course the global TP, that might be enough to actually set up these kills and get more of those. And on here is more important than Venomancer, but for the moment, they only find a Venomancer. Reaver up on Enigma. Oh boy. Speaking of items, even the Venomancer's got enough for a Reaver of his own in 100 gold. That's when you know you're in the late game here, is when your hard support Venomancer is getting close to a heart of his own.
I'm very surprised that Enigma did not go for BKB. Again, I feel like this game's not really about Black Hole, and that's influencing his decision just to go Mega Tank And to be honest, having both mech and pipe on the same hero generally is very, very dangerous. So he doesn't want to get it pick off in the beginning. And getting that 25 strength definitely very helpful in that. And Venomancer, of course, like you said, getting his Reaver very soon as well. Waiting for that third Roshan to come back. This one does give the cheese, and I think, I mean, normally I would say cheese is not necessary, but it might as well be because they're having such a difficult time. They're taking so much damage from the March. Let's see, the entire EG team should be aware. Again, though, at this point in the game, I feel like Sand King is basically useless. Its epicenter is just, I mean, there's a pipe to go through. There's 3 BKB on the enemy team. And here you go. It is Roshan getting sniped off the 3rd time. Aegis goes on Misery. Cheese on Luminous.
Oh my god. No, the Aegis on Misery. But either way, it's just look how big these heroes are. 3,000 health. EG, so much initiation for them now with that Tinker getting close to a Hex and just having the Blink Shivas, as well as the Storm, the big initiator. But who do you initiate on? And even if you do, how do you kill them? There's just no way. It's gotta be, this has to be enough for CLG. I've been saying it all game. But it really, at this point, there's so many items. One more good push. They really don't even have to go for pickoffs. They can kind of just brute force their way down mid, and then rotate top or bottom. Or maybe just go straight for the throne, although that seems a little aggressive. No, they're just pressuring mid. This might take a while, folks, but at some point, it does look like CLG will be able to claim game number 1. I'm not going to call it over. There's always potential for EG to turn this around, but it is going to be Mount Everest to try and scale this one.
Universe trying to go for some ninja pushing, and doing it against the Night Stalker is always dangerous, because those tree-line jukes may not really work for you, given that the Acceptor does reveal everything during nighttime. I guess, to be fair, you know, one of the reasons that we do see CLG having such a difficult time to go on high ground and to initiate is because they have forgone the initiation items, right? Instead of going for, you know, big diving items like Force Staff and Blink Dagger, they're just trying to utilize their tankiness to walk in. And tankiness against very mobile hero, especially when Marching Machine in the backline, it is very annoying. And that's why EG's been holding on. I mean, the mobility item on Dire, the Blink Dagger on Tinker, they fought multiple Force Staffs, and constantly that Marching Machine plus Secret Scar, they're just slowing down the push. But eventually you're going to make a mistake, and it took about 30 minutes for EG to make them, but
that might be.
If you do make a mistake, you lose ranks.
That might be the mindset of CLG. Is eventually you're going to make a mistake. So rather than go for BKBs or initiation, we're just going to tank up to the point where we can make those mistakes, and you still can't kill us. Which, if that was the strategy, they're at that point.
I mean, again, that feels like a Chinese Dota all over again, right? This is not. This is
how European
Dota is all about diving in, making sure you just overwhelm them, overpower them, but. Sure, I mean, this is fine too.
A little bit of all chat there from Casper, our Russian caster. Maybe trying to maintain his stamina here. And well, it has been a long and kind of grueling game. Demon even smiling. He's got a grin because, no matter what, EG have to feel decent about this game in my book. They made a lot of mistakes. They're very far behind. But they're showing remarkable poise here and resilience as a team to hang on with this deficit. Also play without the captain, without maelk, and maybe that's part of the explanation for why that early game really didn't go their way. It was a Vlad's picked up by Broodmother, Eagleson as well, getting close to a butterfly if she wants it, and there's really no answer for that butterfly. She'll be immortal with BKB and Manta utilizing these team fights. Will she be able to lock down heroes? Probably not, but she should be able to right-click on the Rex pretty well. It's just one more item to try and push here. I honestly think maybe an Assault Cuirass would have been a better choice, but either way, it's going to help the Night Stalker and her out quite a bit.
Looks like they're going to charge up on the high ground, not seeing the Marching Machine. Oh no, all those Spiderlings going to get murdered by Shiva's Guard. Another push a little bit slowed down. They're just basically using things like Spiderlings, Force Spirits, Manta Illusions, just trying to damage tower. It's going to be a long siege, but eventually they will get it. Enigma not really in position right now. He's just hanging out in the jungle. Stormster zips in, just trolling a little bit. That actually made him lose a lot of mana, so he's got to go back.
He's just trying to do what he can, but it is very expensive to spam these zips because it reduces your mana by a percentage basis, no matter how short the zip is. Here we go. The Forward Spirits, Misery in the front lines. Might be content here to drop the Aegis in exchange for some damage on the tower, maybe a hero kill or two. But just biding his time. They can sit here all day, mid pushing in. Tinker and Fear can try to split push these lanes out, but they're not going to be threatening Rack, so CLG really in no hurry. Again, though, get comfortable, guys, because this could easily take 5 minutes or so, unless somebody gets caught out. But EG just not really showing any kind of bad positioning so far in this game. I don't think we're going to see a pick. I think we're just going to slowly see the Rex, or the tower be whittled down.
I mean, with 3 hearts up on CLG, they don't mind this, like, Marching Machine damage. They'll back off, regen up, Looks like we're gonna have a big pause. There's 3 hearts up on the Radiant side. Venomancer about to pick up the 4th one. This is like the most awesome Dota I've seen in a long time.
It's perfect. It's the correct item choice. Really, it is at this point for the style they've played. This is what allows you to push and just never have to go back to base. A mech does nothing for you at this point. There's way too many nukes for EG. The pipe is not spammable enough. And so here we go. It's just I love this item pickup. Really for all of these heroes. It's also nice to have that kind of gold, right? For your Venomancer to be able to basically afford a heart of his own. That's going to be 4 hearts when it's complete. I actually thought he was one of the 3, but no, it's the Night Stalker, pajkatt on the Invoker, and then Miracle on the Enigma. Goodness gracious.
This is just game 1, by the way. We have at least 3 more games. 2 best-of-3 series for today. Right now, CLG versus EG. Game 2 is going to be directly after this one. And the winner of this series will be facing against IG. And IG right now probably very late in China, in Beijing time at the moment. But if these games go this long for 2 more games, oh man.
They're used to it. They usually practice pretty late anyway. Fear in the middle lane, doing a little bit of zipping around, trying to push things out. EMP Tornado will hit. They're not going to dive anymore. I think they finally learned their lesson about doing so. All they care about is this tower, and slowly but surely, it is being worked down. Again, the middle lane, the bottom lane not being pushed out. Just incredibly patient play from CLG. And again, this is not the international, but they're showing that kind of patience here. Imagine how much patience they'll be willing to show in that tournament. I expect all teams will be. And there's a big zip in by Fear. Going on to Miracle, they've decided this is the time to fight Epicenter, Burrow Strike. Look how tanky he is. Will it be enough? No! Mech, Pipe, keep you alive. The Meteor, thrown back. Fear out of mana, caught out the Malefice. Sight the Vice, Fear screwed. Cannot buy back, I don't believe. No, he can't. The Bloodstone will bring him back. Will it be in time, though? Now it's Demon in a lot of trouble. Lacoste focusing on him. The right clicks are available. Are they going to get him? It looks like he'll go down and Pusherstreet. That's got to be it. 4 heroes claimed. Looks like someone else took a ball. The Tinker actually went down as well during that fight. And there's your GG. Perfect defense by EG for so long, Lumi. But in the end, just too much of a deficit. Too steep of a hill to climb. CLG take game 1, and, well, you said you favored them. This is a good start for them.
I'm actually very surprised about the Storm Zip. They were actually in no pressure. I felt like, I mean, their tower was losing 100 damage, 200 damage every time they couple up the hill, but I felt like they have a lot of time left. And it's surprised to see them go without having any buyback. Perhaps EG ran out of patience. And just, you know, again, this CLG team is so annoying to play against. You might be defending, but they're relentlessly pushing with heart. So, I felt like that was a forced mistake against EG. And again, one mistake, you're out. And that was the second one. So that's the second lane of Rax, and, well, that's the game.
GG, it is. And, ladies and gentlemen, this was, like Louis mentioned, only game number 1. CLG take it as a best out of 3. Winner goes on to face IG in what I can only hope will be a sweet preview of the International, which is ever so close. The preliminaries less than a week away at this point, right? Or just about a week, if that. So coming up very, very soon. Don't go anywhere, guys. Game number 2 of CLG vs. EG will be coming up momentarily. I am LD. He is Luminous. Together we are David and David. We're bringing you Beyond the Summits World Tour. This is the semifinals, and we'll be back momentarily with game number 2. Stay tuned for that. You will not want to miss it.